some more. And we're going to explore some more of the incredibly inspiring story of Miss Cathy Maberry. She is recently graduated from Jackson State University, and she is on a mission to help other people know that they can reach their goals too. Hey, Cathy.
Hey.
It's good to it's so good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
So for people who don't completely know your story, at the age of 21, your health kind of took a turn. So what started with you around 21?
You know what's crazy? I already want to cry.
Oh, don't cry. Well, if you cry, I'll cry. So we can cry together. That's fine.
So I went to college 2015, fall 2015. I did good all that first year. I started having problems, started going to the clinic at Jackson State University, and they was like, okay, your blood pressure's getting out of control. You okay? Probably stressed out, stuff like that. And then school got out May 2016, and I noticed something in my right eye. Everybody's face started looking like Pac-Man, like a little piece was chopped off or something. And I was like, why everybody looking like that? So I got scared. And then following June 16th, I remember the date like it was yesterday. I want to start remembering the date so I can, move past it. I went to the eye doctor. And then they was like, okay, we'll call you back. And then literally that day, they was like, you need to go to the emergency room immediately. And I was like, immediately? But yep, and they said I had papilledema in the back of my eyes. So that means swelling behind my eyes, which causes swelling on the optic nerve, which caused me to start to slowly lose my vision. And it was just so sudden. And yeah, it just went so fast. And I immediately went to the Addie McBride Center to learn how to, do things in this manner, an alternate way. And then more recently, 2021, I want to say, what month it was? February, I started having more problems. My blood pressure went up one day, and it didn't want to come back down. And I tried to sit at home and see, okay, maybe it'll go down if I change something. And it just never did. So we went to the hospital, and I was in and out the hospital for those 2 months. And then it got so bad that UMMC couldn't figure it out. And we went to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota. And I was there for 15 days, and that was a lot.
It's a lot for anyone to take in a short period of time, Cathy.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, it ended up where you have lost, you're 24 years old now, you have lost in terms of vision, but you're rocking and rolling in terms of, I see you have your equipment here and getting around. And what the inspiring part of your story, which your tears remind us that there was still probably some really dark, low places when you were going through it now. We see the Cathy Maberry who's graduated, who's making headlines with all the, inspirational pieces to the story, but you had to climb out of some pretty rough patches to sort of get that. So from the beginning, were you just danged and determined not to let anything stop you from reaching your goals, or did that kind of come as a process?
I wouldn't say that. It came as a process. I'm still climbing out of, the process. It's hard. I'm not even gonna say it's not.
But you're not alone in the terms of life throws you curveballs. And I think the part that I hope folks hear in your story today, Cathy, here on Good Things, is the fact that you have a choice to make. Right. When life, feels like you've been served up a bad hand, you either can stay bitter and stay down, or you can keep going in a forward motion and do the things that you had always hoped to do, which for you was graduating from Jackson State University.
Just keep going.
Which you did. You graduated this past, winter.
Right.
So what was your degree in?
December 10th. My degree was in health, physical education, and recreation.
So what drew you to that program in the first place?
Originally, I wanted to do physical therapy. Ironically enough, I took all the beginning courses, and then that's when I started losing my vision. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I literally, after that, I think I took off one semester, and I didn't think that semester was going to turn into 2 semesters. And, 2 semesters equals 1 year right there. So I was like, Lord, when I noticed that I had a lump in my bed, I knew I needed to get up. So I got up, and then I said, okay, so how can I, continue to do what I want to do? And then I want to say it was one of my aunts who pointed it out that something about therapeutic recreation, try to help develop, different therapeutic interventions to help persons with disabilities like myself. So, just find an alternative way to still serve a purpose.
So how was it going back to class for that first time and realizing I can still do this? It may be a little different. I may have to study a little bit different, but you know what? I Cathy, can still take the test. I can still, make the grades. I can still graduate.
Well, if the disabilities coordinator was here today, Aaron Richardson, he would tell you I was still very independent. I was kind of standoffish because the stereotype of, not being able to do something. I was trying to prove to myself that, I don't need anybody's help. I can still do this on my own. So I was still moving around like that. So, but I realized it's not a bad thing to, ask for help and, depend on others at times. So.
And I think that's something we all need to hear, Cathy, is the fact that we often we put too much pressure on our own selves to rise up to some expectation that only we are carrying around.
Right.
When we can reach so many more goals or get so much further in life when we're willing to say, hey, I do need a little bit of a helping hand sort of here and there. And it doesn't mean they're doing the work for you. It just means, you're taking advantage of the resources out there that are there to sort of help sort of give you a hand up, in that direction. Well, you graduated, girlfriend.
Yes, I did.
You did. You have that degree, and you got to do part of your internship there at the VA.
Yes.
So how did you get connected with the VA?
I have this professor. Her name is Devonda Elliott. She also works at the VA, and she is the supervisor and over the recreation therapy department. So that was a plus one because not only was she my professor to, give me advice in that perspective, but also give me maybe pointers on what I would like to do further after the internship. So, yeah.
And so you realized there that they had the different therapy programs.
Right.
So where did the line dancing class come out? Because number one, this sounds like a whole lot of fun. But number two, I know this was partly your ideas.
Right. So with my curriculum at Jackson State, when you get to you have a practicum, you have 2 practicums and 1 internship. So we already had a feel of that you have to leave your own special project. So, and I've done the practicums before, and I've done special projects before. So, in my mind, I knew that, okay, so what do I want to leave behind? And line dance or either boxing popped in my mind because I actually want to do boxing myself, but I have a fear of hitting the instructor. So,
you know what? If you have a boxing instructor that can't get out of the way of a punch,
that's what I'm thinking.
Then they deserve to get to get knocked out, or to at least get one on the chin. I think they'd be proud of you if a student could figure out a way to to uppercut them. So you fell on line dancing,
right? Because I don't know. I think when you're comfortable in yourself, it don't matter what you're doing. If you're cooking, cleaning, you're going to get a little dance going, just listening to music. So I was like, this would be a perfect way because most people don't like to work out. And that's the goal of therapeutic recreation, is to promote health and wellness through anything, whether it's movement, nutrition, any intervention that, we implement. So I feel like, okay, how can I get them to exercise while doing something that's, fun? So I taught dancing.
And you picked out a special group out of the VA.
Right.
You looked for those that, were disabled in their vision, much like you. Mm-hmm. And was that, I know that was that very intentional for you to make sure that those veterans were served?
Yes, I did. And not only vision impaired, just any population of people, but I feel like I wanted to get in touch with the vision impaired population because I know how it is for me not getting in doing things that I used to do. So,
and you gave them the opportunity to do something new.
Right.
Will you stick with us a little longer? say yes.
Yes.
All right. We're going to keep Cathy with us a little bit longer here on Good Things More. And if you're watching over at supertalktv.com, you'll see I'm not alone today in the Good Things studio. Joining with me is Miss Cathy Maberry. She is 24 years old, and she may have lost her sight a little over 4 years ago, but not her vision, which I think is the most inspiring thing. And she's on a mission to help others with disabilities too. And Cathy, we were talking about, you did part of your internship with JSU at the VA, and you got to come up with a therapeutic program of line dancing.
Yes.
You sought out those that were also visually impaired. How did they feel when they knew that they were being, handpicked to come and do something fun?
Well, at first it was. Of course, I had to call the patients myself and ask them, would you like to participate? And when you had those few who was like, no, it hurt my heart. It did.
They didn't know how much fun that they could have.
Yeah, but we ended up with a few, who stuck through and, was able to, what's the word?
Sort of enjoy the experience for the first time.
Right, and showcase what they've learned. So, and that's learning from someone who's vision impaired themselves. So imagine teaching a dance when you don't even, not necessarily see what's going on, but, just, having the faith to know that, we're doing it correctly. And even with the praise that we got at the end, we was all together. They was like, can you really not see? I was like, yeah. So,
like they thought you were pulling a fast one on them. Well, I would assume that for many who find themselves with vision impairments, they think there's a lot of things that can't be done anymore.
Right.
You're out to sort of change that, or at least prove it to yourself if nobody else.
Right.
And dancing, I guess, is one of those things.
Right.
But for them, did they tell you while they were moving their body or getting their blood flowing, did it waken something in them that maybe they'd realized had been sleeping?
Yeah, because I know a couple, one of the participants, I know he used to dance, and now he was like, I'm so glad I did this because now it can get me back to what I used to do. And the other participant never danced before. It was actually, what's the word? Stubborn. I don't want to say stubborn, but
you can say stubborn.
But by the end of the program, she was just so excited. And I was like, see, we did all this, and now you like it. Now you can do something in your meantime because she liked cooking. So now you can do that while you're cooking. So.
Well, and I think that, again, it's just about getting people out of their comfort zone.
Right.
They had sort of gotten in their own comfort zone. And when you break out of that, you try something new. You never know what good things will sort of come out of that. And I know this isn't where you're stopping. I mean, obviously this was part of your education with JSU there at the VA.
Right.
What's next for you, Cathy? What are you hoping to do next?
I'm hoping to take my certification exam to become certified. And then hopefully, because I want to work with rehabilitation and persons like myself who lost it, so suddenly, a traumatic life situation. So, because honestly, I feel like someone who's been, vision impaired from birth versus me, there's two different walks of life. So I think we experience it different. Here we go again with the crying.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think we experience it differently. So I think I have a different story to tell. So.
Well, and I think that you have such courage in sharing your story with us here on Good Things. I can't imagine what it's like. You mentioned earlier wanting to forget those dates to have to relive it. But you are connecting with someone who has walked through something similar, and just to see that there are other people who can come out of such a dark place and find light in life, I think is so important not to lose that as part. I mean, maybe you can forget some dates.
Yeah.
But don't lose sight of the fact that you definitely have an opportunity. You already are impacting so many people, because it's a message of overcoming. I mean, where do you get your stubbornness from, Cathy? Because I mean, your mom's joining us here in the studio with you. I mean, is it something you were raised with, just to never give up? Or did you just dig down deep? And
I had to dig down deep. Because I know in certain situations, some people choose the easy way out, and I didn't want to choose that way. So even though I talked about it, like, I don't want to be here no more, just let me go. So, oops, my bad.
Nope. But if God didn't want you here, Cathy, you had plenty of times to take you, because your health battles have been up and down and all around. And you yourself mentioned if we'd have seen you in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, it's a miracle that you're even sitting here.
That's what the doctors called me. A miracle. No, they called me. What they called me?
Stubborn miracle.
Oh, they called me a medical mystery. So yeah. So. But I'm still here.
Hey, there are worse things to be called in life.
So
you are still here, and I think your work is only just beginning. And even in the short period of the last 4 or so years, you've accomplished so much. What are some of the myths about visually impaired individuals that you would love to just shatter in 2022?
So many. One, most people think there's no in between because, like I said, I could see previously even a little. So from 2017 till this year in April, I can still see a little, but it's not like, the normal acuity of seeing. So either people think you can see or you're totally blind. And I have to say that's not true. So, and another myth that all you do is sit at home and get a check. That's a myth. No, I want to serve my purpose in life. Like, I'm up here now trying to get my voice out there, do something in life. So just a bunch of myths. So
well, I think you're going to shatter every single one of them, Cathy. One thing I learned through the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services is the differences in the canes. And a wonderful woman came on Good Things one time to say, if we are out and about and it's the white cane, right, for those that are visually impaired, and it's red for hearing impaired.
Okay.
And that you approach, then that way you can approach the individual a little bit differently. What does it mean to have for that stick for you? For when we see folks out who may have their, what do you call it? What's the
I was
official
just
word?
about to applaud you because you said cane, but then you said stick again.
Then I said stick again.
Then you said stick again.
You can beat me with your cane. Okay, so it's cane. That's
called a cane.
Okay.
Please say cane, everyone. Cane.
Cane. No, this is good. No, this is good. Okay, so when we see someone with their cane, whether it's white or whether it's red, what should we give space? How should we respond?
I would say be respectful first, because some people come up and want to touch me. Please don't touch, you all. If anything, ask, say, do you need assistance? Because keep in mind, most people don't see you. So even me, I had to learn that I could see in the beginning, and I was helping this lady who couldn't see as much as I could at the point. And she went to swiping. Oh, she could have hit me all up inside my head. It's like we go into attack mode. I feel like you're attacking me. So I would say, excuse me, would you like assistance? And if they say no, it's fine. They are very independent. They got it.
There you go.
Leave them alone.
But you know what? Some of us, I think we just don't know what we don't know.
Yeah,
so hearing these type of things hopefully will, make encounters more comfortable for everyone.
And I think that's what I need to do, because some people don't know. And I wish they would know already, because I get annoyed easily. Like, I wish you would understand this. So
Well, that's okay. I think you're allowed to have your authentic feelings show through, and then we, as the recipients, can say, you know what? Here's a space where we can do things better, sort of moving forward. But you're right. If there aren't voices out there sharing the information, then people are going to continue to get frustrated.
Right.
When it comes to maybe the way that businesses think about how they have things set up. I know we, talking with the ladies with the Miss Wheelchair Mississippi, they always said, just go ahead and leave a chair off the end so you already have room for a wheelchair, a person in a wheelchair. Something simple like that, so they don't have to ask or try to move it around.
Yeah.
So what would be an ask for you for the business community that would make it easier for?
I think the businesses do fairly well. Braille. Other than, I guess, if I go into a restaurant, for people who can see but not as much, maybe larger print menus, or even, I know something like Applebee's has the little monitor they play games on. Even if I want to look at the menu myself, have a voice setting on there. Because I look at the menu before I go there anyway, because I already know it's not set up that way for me to access. So that would be my only recommendation. And then I guess customer service, because of course, like, I'm sitting in the studio now with no glasses on, so most people, I get the comment, oh, you don't look blind. And I ask, so what does it look like? So So I'm.
That's fine. Cathy, you have taught us so much today. You have inspired us so much today. You are a friend of good things. You know you're welcome back anytime. And next time you'll have to teach Rhino and I how to line dance.
Okay.
And we will lie to you and tell you it looks good.
I'm going to remember I'm welcome back anytime. Everybody heard that now.
You are. You are a friend of good things. We are so proud of you. So best wishes in the new year.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. You guys stick with us. We got a few more good things for you coming up next.